isn't what we say or think that defines us, but what we do. So Jane Austen might have wrote that line from right here. Today on Walk with History, as we talk all about Jane Austen in London, England. So right behind me is 64 Sloane Street. And it says 1897 up on the building, but that's where Jane Austen visited her brother, who lived there in 1813. I'm upside down. Why am I upside down? So here I am in front of 64 Sloane Street. So you can see the 64 on the door and the steps going up. But it's a nice building. I don't think this facade is original. But they say there's original building like inside of here. And again, this is where Jane visited her brother Henry, writing Sense and Sensibility while she lived here. Henry's wife Eliza will die while he's here, but she visits him twice, 1813 in this location. Very cool. Street. We're going to turn the corner and we're going to walk down Hans Street, and we're going to another location that Jane Austen stayed at while she was here in London visiting her brother Henry, and it's 23 Hans Place. So it's actually just like right around the corner. And he moved here later in 1814. After his wife passed away, it was a happy place for him to be. So he moved close by, just around the corner. They entertained a lot, they partied a lot. Jane had a great time with them. She loved her brother Henry. She loved her sister-in-law. So he wanted to be close to that happy time that he had with them. So he moved, again, it's just kind of right around the corner, this cute little like crescent area here off of Hans Street. This is called Hans Place. So right behind me, you see 23 Hans Street. And this is where Jane stayed for almost 2 years, over 1814 and 1815. It was her last known visit to London when she stayed in this home. She stayed in the bedchamber on the front of the house on the top floor. So probably right up there. And there's a plaque commemorating her occupancy. It's located on the building. I'm going to try to find it. They also say, while Jane Austen was staying here, she was getting Emma published. So if you're like me, I like the adaptation of Emma. I like the original Emma, but I love the adaptation of Emma. Clueless? SF? So she was staying here is when she got it published. Let's see if we can find the plaque. Oh, here it is right here. Jane Austen novelist. How cool is that? I'm standing in front of 10 Henrietta Street, and you can see the green placard up on the second window. Jane Austen stayed here 1813, 1814. So we talked about her brother Henry, his wife Eliza. After Eliza passes away, Henry moves here. And this is Covent Garden area of London. I feel very Oliver Twist. Like, who will buy this wonderful morning? I feel like people are getting ready with commerce and everything all over here. I also feel very My Fair Lady with the flowers and everything. This looks like everyone's hustling and bustling, getting ready to kind of start the day. It's a Tuesday morning, it's 9 o'clock, so it's still not very busy, but there's a lot of eateries out here, restaurants, things like that. This was close to Henry's job. So he was a banker, and after his wife died, he wanted to be close to work. So the offices were on the bottom floor. He lived on the second floor. Jane Austen stayed here. She stayed up on the second floor. She published Mansfield Park while she was here. So she visits in 1813, in the summer of 1813, and then in March of 1814, she stays here. But they have that little placard up there. You can see it. And again, it's Miss Riot. And yeah, I'm in Covent Garden, London. I'm at 96 Euston Road in London at the British Library. So about to go in. They have a collection, and part of their collection is Jane Austen's writing desk. So I would love to see it. So I'm going to go in and see it. This is a nice little square. It opened at 9:30 a.m. So I'm right here on time. you did there? So I just left the British Library. You're not allowed to use these kind of handheld cameras in the artifact section where they have a bunch of Bibles and historic documents and examples of literature, famous people in literature's writing. That's where Jane Austen's desk was. I saw writing by Oscar Wilde, Charles Dickens, Sylvia Plath, Virginia Woolf. And then they had the Magna Carta there, so I took pictures of that. So you're allowed to take pictures, you're allowed to take video with your phone, but you can't take videos like this. But the British Library was definitely awesome. I definitely recommend visiting, especially if you want to see some of those examples of famous writing. I'm at 216 Strand in London, and right across from me is Twinnings Tea Shop. And Jane Austen bought her tea there. It is named after the gentleman who owned it, Twinnings, built in 1706. There's the letter she writes while she's staying with her brother Henry at the Henrietta Street address that we were at earlier today. And in 1814, she's writing her sister, Cassandra, "I'm sorry there's been a rise in tea. I do not intend to pay Twinning till later in the day. We may order a fresh supply." So this is where Jane Austen bought her tea, 216 Strand. We're across from the Royal Court of Justice. There's the George Public House and Dining. It's a really cool looking place beside it. But yeah, we're gonna go into Twinnings. I'll let you know how it is. Jane Austen once said, nobody minds having what is too good for them. So I'm going to end my tour here at Twinnings. I got my Twinnings tea. The people inside are very nice and friendly. Traversing my way through London was easy with the tube. Thank you for watching, and on to my next Walk with History.